Hi, good evening everyone. This is Vineet Pandey and yes, Tiger Pandey is also come in. Okay, Tiger Pandey is resting. So let's utilize the time today. We're gonna talk about world literature. हम लोग आज world literature की बात करेंगे. There is a question that what exactly I expect the date of exam. Repeating once again, there are chances that gate exam and net exam they can be delayed again. Gate 99% chances in the month of Feb, as they already have announced. This time can be conducted by IIT Roorkee or IIT Kanpur. Net exam, as I've already told you, it will go either in the first week of July or the last week of June, because the NEET JEE exams are also there from after 20th of June. So there are plenty of chances that they actually take it in the month of July only. But again, and moreover, NET exam has like 16 lakh plus students. So it's not easy to conduct the exams in the very first week of June, that I have told you according to the tweet of Mr. Mamidala. मैंने आपको ये पहले भी बोला था. If I just switch this camera like this so that you all can have a conversation with me. So I've already told you that it's really hard for them to get the exam conducted in the first week of June, second week of June. So they will have multiple, there are chances they can postpone. Now we have some students from Tamil Nadu. Vanakkam everyone. Students from Maharashtra. How are you all? Jai Shivaji, Jai Maharashtra. Sat Sri Akal to all the Punjabis. Assalamu alaikum. Baki sabko Jai Shri Ram. Namaste. Kem cho? Darshika Chaudhary. Kem cho? Namaskaram to all the students from Kerala, and multiple greetings, one emotion, love, blessings. William Fernandez from Goa. I have 7 students from Goa. When I was in Goa last time, I told my students, and we had a gathering there, a gathering in Panjim. We met, we talked about certain things, and it was wow. In fact, one female student, she came to meet me with her fiance. Her fiance was in police. So, and next day I was caught by the Goa police because I was not wearing a helmet. So why that something Indian thing? I was like, listen, I have my friend in Goa police. So he was like, okay, what is his name? I was like, I don't know the name. He said, sir, you were saying you have a friend in police, you don't know the name. Then I said, my student, a female student, she is in, her fiance is in police. Well, it didn't work. Police is honest. They did their duty. I had to pay. But that's my cute memory from Goa. So let's get back to world literature and let's utilize time. समय पे हम लोग अपनी पढ़ाई शुरू कर देते हैं और कल weekend है. We will have a special class on Saturday. We will have a special class on Sunday. And all the online private students जो पढ़ रहे हैं, जो अलग से पढ़ रहे हैं, those who have paid for the registered batches, आपको बहुत सारी list मिलने वाली है just to mug up. उनको as it is रट्टा मारना है. I'll be telling you which writers are very important. Now for everyone, let's talk about the world literature concept. First of all, I recommend this book for world literature, but I must tell you this is for university level standards, for DUJNU standards, so don't read this book only for NET. If you have just one purpose, qualifying NET, then don't go for this book. If you have the purpose to learn, to know, then you go for this. It's by Sarah Lowell. I have 7 more books on world literature. This is my favorite one. Okay, this is reading theory, world history and literature practice. Now, on the basis of this book and other readings, I'm going to tell you important names that you have to read. The first one is German literature. Write this thing. Isko title ko likh lo, German literature. The very first thing that you have to read and understand in German literature, Strum and Drang philosophy. Please write this thing. Strum, S-T-R-U-M, Strum, and Drang, D-R-A-N-G, Drang philosophy. Strum and Drang philosophy is actually a movement in German literature connected to German romanticism, and it inspired English romanticism. 99% teachers will not tell you this thing. Please read this. Romantic literature of Britain, Wordsworth, Coleridge, all of these writers, they were first influenced by German Strum and Drang philosophy. Coleridge was heavily inspired by German literature, German philosophy, and Collins is the first person who introduced German idealism in English literature. अगर आपको ये नहीं आता था, note it down. If you didn't know it earlier, note it down. This is how Vineet Pandey teaches. French Revolution is the second influence on the Romantic writers. French influence, French Revolution, it is the revolutionary spirit, the base of revolutionary spirit. But the concept of idealism, the life after death, the value of life, the life connection in connection with nature, that all comes from German literature, German strong and drank philosophy. विवेक मेरी आवाज़ आ रही है. आई दिस इज़ द रीज़न मैंने कैमरा क्लोज किया है. मैं कैमरा और क्लोज कर लेता हूँ. आई एम श्योर आपको आवाज़ आ रही होगी. आई बिलीव आपको आवाज़ आ रही होनी चाहिए. If you're not able to get this voice, you can watch the video again. All the new students, those who are watching it, and those who are new here, subscribe it so that, like today, I made the link of the video, but I couldn't share it. So all those who already have subscribed, they found the link immediately. I'm also going to start a revision session, rapid fire session. So अगर आपको link चाहिए, इसको subscribe करो. It is like a kind of information. Okay. Now, in German literature, what else you have to read? Fate drama, F-A-T-E, fate drama. The concept of drama where they talk about the stories, relations, characters and fate. In short, the characters, they are the person who is following the predestination concept. Means if something is written, this will happen to you. Fate and character is equally important in Hardy's novels, Thomas Hardy. If you have read Thomas Hardy, that's great. If you have not read, read Far from the Maddening Crowd, very important, 1874. Then you have to go for Tess of the Urbervilles, I think it's 1895. Jude the Obscure is there, and Mayor of Casterbridge, 1886. There are three classics, Jude the Obscure, Mayor of Casterbridge, and Tess of the Urbervilles. The timings are 1886, 1891, 1895. Make sure you find it out and read it, okay? Now see, in German literature, you have to go for some selected writers. The first writer that you have to read is French Kafka. We are talking about world literature. I am going to give you some 20 plus writers who are very important. French Kafka, very important writer. Also the part of existential writings or absurd writings. Famous work, The Metamorphosis. ये पढ़ना है आपको. You have to read The Metamorphosis. There are questions which have been asked in NET exam. The story of Gregor Samsa, how this young boy gets converted into an insect, then how his sister Greed finds a connection with him, how that insect lives the life. It's a very important work. There are questions. एक नेट में ये भी क्वेश्चन है that what happens to him after getting converted into an insect. कीड़ा बन जाता है और रात को सोता है, सुबह उठता है, कीड़ा बन जाता है. It has philosophy. Then the trial, very important. He has written The Castle also, but the trial is very important, and there is a last line, like a dog. Like my pet Labrador, he is licking my feet now. He doesn't know why I'm shouting loudly. He doesn't know I'm teaching. So he's just, loving me. So they also have a story where Mr. Joseph K is killed for nothing. He is stabbed. Then they do this with knife, rewinding it inside. And he says, like a dog. The last line of the story, like a dog. Question of NET exam. कार्तिक राम छत्तीसगढ़ से कैसे हैं? छत्तीसगढ़िया सबसे बढ़िया. I have qualified Chhattisgarh set also. I was in Raipur. I have memories of everywhere. मैं बहुत states में आया हूँ. Now, second thing that you have to read. What is Kafkaesque? Kafkaesque क्या है? French Kafka style Kafkaesque. 99% people have no idea about it. Find it out, read it. You can also text me, I'll explain it to you. Second, Thomas Mann, very important writer. Thomas Mann. Thomas Mann is important for multiple things, but something that you have to read is Death in Venice. Very, very important. It has been asked in NET exam. Death in Venice is unbelievable story, deals with homosexual attractions, story of the boy Tadzio. I think Tadzio is the boy. I don't have any notes, but मैं memory से पढ़ा रहा हूँ. So गलती हो तो ये नहीं बोलना गलत पढ़ा है. I think Tadzio होना चाहिए 99%. It's a must-read story. पढ़ना है. Magic Mountain. The character Hans Kastrop. This work is amazing. ये जरूर पढ़ना है. After this, once you are done with this, Go for next writer, Hermann Hesse. 99% people don't know that the German writer has written about Buddhism. Siddharth. He has written Siddharth, which is a classic, and you must read it. The character who is searching for Siddharth is actually the character who is having the journey like Siddharth. There is an Indian writer, he has written about his wife Yashodhara. He says, Sakhi wo mujhse kehke jaate, tab kya mujhko pagbaadha hi paate. You know, Siddharth left his wife in midnight, went in jungle for the search of enlightenment, for the search of spirituality. But the question is that maybe, see, he was a god, he left his wife and ran away or just escaped. But his wife questions that I was a wife to you. I had some imaginations, expectations from you. You left me while sleeping. I was sleeping. You left me. So the feminist perspective, the women's point of view. Because in the Indian classics, women has always been considered as an obstacle in the way of salvation. So when she says that Sakhi wo mujhse kehke jaate in Hindi, she says, my friend, he should have told me. I would have held him. I would have celebrated his journey. I would have joined him. I would have assisted him. But he didn't even consider me. He just left the house. So these things are very, very important. आपको इनके references याद रखने हैं. Then German writer, famous writer, Günter Grass, must read writer. If you are a new student, you don't know Günter Grass and all, then I must tell you, the online students, offline students are far better prepared. They know Günter Grass is very important. 1999 Nobel Awardee writer, also a member of Magic Realism. They have studied Denging trilogy. Denging trilogy is like Palace Walk, Palace Desire, Sugar Street are the works there. Tin Drum, the most important work, Tin Drum, is classic. It's a must read. Finest example of Magic Realism. इनको आज पढ़ लेना, ये homework है. Take this as homework. Tin Drum, Magic Realism's example, the boy who decides never to grow up. He finds his father will make him join the business. So the young boy, he decides that I will never grow up. So he's always in the kid's body. 6-7 years boy's body. But his brain is developing. He has the brain of the adult, but the body of the child. And yes, he joins World War II, he makes a band, he goes for multiple affairs with women. There is a philosophical line also, because Oscar Mariades, the main character that Sharmini, one of my best student, has mentioned the name. He is someone who actually, has lived life and also blames. There is a line, ये आपको बहुत शायद ही कोई बताएगा. I make you write this. One of his friend, he questions this thing, that what is Saturn according to you? आपके according Saturn कौन है? So he points towards the male organ. He actually points towards his penis and says this is Saturn. It has a deep philosophy that has been studied by Freud. Means Freud already had studied this thing. Freud ने penis envy करके पढ़ाई की हुई है. 99% स्टूडेंट्स को पता नहीं होगा. अगर आपको नॉलेज के लिए पढ़ना है तो मेरा लेक्चर सुनना. ठीक है, this is for knowledge. The penis envy concept that has been studied by Freud. Same concept has been applied here where this guy Oscar Mariades, when one of his personal friends, he says that what is Saturn? He says this penis is Saturn because lust make you do things, lust make you mind blocked. You know all the rape crimes and everything else, women oppression, molestation, troubles. So he says that this is one of the the 7 deadly sins are here. And lust is one of those 7 deadly sins, right? Now after this, remember this, that Magic Realism's writer, this particular writer, it's very important because it also has a reference of World War II from German point of view. Then after these German writers, the next one you have to go for Bertolt Brecht, B-E-R-T-O-L-T, Bertolt, B-R-E-C-H-A-T, Bertolt Brecht. Very important writer. आपको एक पढ़ना है, The Mother Courage. The story of Anna Ferling, background of 30 years war. Her kids, one of the kids joined the war. She loses her kids. She runs a canteen there. Question tha net exam mein that what is the song Anna Ferling and her children sing behind the background of war. Very important. My friends, if you are watching this lecture seriously, today I have given you multiple homeworks. Inko kar lo. Okay. Now we go for French writers. French literature. So obviously the first thing that you must know is the first restoration writers who inspired restoration literature in England. See, I must tell you how, why people don't qualify net, because they make these mistakes. We all have read, suppose you are not in my online class, so you must have read restoration literature was based on French writers and French work. How many of you remember Molière, Corneille, Racine? The first influence on restoration comedy, Molière, then Corneille, the influence of tragedy, Racine, the influence on tragedy. ये पढ़ने हैं. Then the writers like Victor Hugo, Alexander Dumas, the first inspirations for the romantic literature, very important. आपको पता है Victor Hugo's The Haunchback of Notre Dame is a Gothic novel, one of the first work to inspire Gothic tradition. इससे आपसे सिर्फ इतना क्वेश्चन आएगा. They'll ask you one question, that which book inspired the Gothic tradition? Horace Walpole wrote Castle of Otranto in 1764. After that, Mistrizio Vidolfo, the Italian, 1794-1797 by Anne Radcliffe. Then Vathek by William Beckford. The Gothic tradition starts. The Fall of the House of Usher, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. These are the American Gothic works. Jane Eyre has Gothic elements. Charlotte Bronte's famous work Jane Eyre. Then Emily Bronte's Wuthering Heights. It has Gothic references. ये आपको सारा पढ़ना है. And then how many of you know Dracula? Bram Stoker's Dracula, the cult classic. कितने लोगों को पता है ड्रैकुला किसने लिखा है? गॉथिक फिक्शन में आता है. The Haunting of the Hill House, ये भी लेटेस्ट है, 1959's modern gothic. Then Monk Lewis, Matthew Lewis famous work Monk. So what I mean to say, that European literature was interconnected. They would inspire each other. French writer Victor Hugo's classic work Les Miserables, very important for you, read the summary. Then Haunchback of Notre Dame, very important, read it. Then Onordi Balzac, the famous writer who has written about Father Goriot, Old Goriot, loosely based on King Lear. So if you have not even heard the name, अगर आपको नाम ही नहीं पता है, तो they will ask you a question that Old Goriot is based on. So how would you answer that it's based on King Lear? What is the last line of this famous work? He says, Annus Deus Maintenent. The question of net exam. The last line is in French. It's between you and me now. It's a must read. Then Emile Zola. How many of you know that Emile Zola, the main propounder of the theory of naturalism, was against the 19th century realism? He criticized realism in his famous work. The name of the work was Naturalism in Theatre, 1881. It was 1881's work, Naturalism in Theatre, where he said that theatre was dead in 19th century. They may ask you a question, who said that theatre was dead in 19th century? Emile Zola, E-M-I-L-E, Emile, Z-O-L-A, Emile Zola. Now see what happens here. He has written a great classical work which is the part of naturalism. Thérèse Requin, must read है दोस्तों, classic है. अगर आपको आपके टीचर्स थेरेस रेक्विन वगैरह नहीं पढ़ा रहे हैं तो आपको बेवकूफ़ बना रहे हैं. 3 क्वेश्चंस है नेट एग्जाम में, वो भी लास्ट के 4-5 पेपर्स में. Very important, one of the finest example of naturalism. Thérèse Requin is a classic cult, must read. After that, Marcel Proust, the famous work In Search of Lost Time. In Search of Lost Time is very much, title is very much similar to In Search of Happiness, written by Hannah More, an 18th century female writer. आपका एक क्वेश्चन आ रहा है, वन ऑफ यू इज आस्किंग मी अ क्वेश्चन अगेन एंड अगेन, दैट क्या ये सारी चीज़ें आपकी किताब में है? नहीं है. लिटरेचर बहुत बड़ा है, सारी चीज़ें नहीं आ सकती. इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ें हैं, ये पियर्सन में सारा नहीं है. इसके अपडेटेड वर्जन आएंगे पियर्सन के. वी आर वर्किंग ऑन अ बिग वर्जन. सारी कैसे आएगी? देखो एक बात सुनो, लिटरेचर इज रियली वास्ट. आई टेक 5 months टू टीच इन ऑफलाइन बैचेस. 5 महीने. ऑनलाइन क्लासेस गो फॉर 5 months, 6 months. Is it possible that 5 months, 6 months content of 3-hour class can be added in some 300 pages, 400 pages? That's not possible. The guidebooks are actually like hitting the bull's eye. So, अच्छा imagine करो, all of you those who are watching it and you are new students, you are not my online students. How many minutes are there? 20 minutes. 20 मिनट में मैंने आपको कितनी चीज़ें बताई जो आपको पहले कभी नहीं आती थी. In 20 minutes, in this video of 20 minutes live class, I have talked about multiple things which are almost unknown to you. So imagine the class of 2 hours. Imagine the preparation of online classes. So that's what I want to say. Literature is very vast. It's simply you must know what they are asking in exam. That's what I keep doing things. Okay. Now Marshall Proust's famous work In Search of Lost Time is also called Encyclopedia of Character Study. It's very important thing. सबसे बड़ी important चीज़ क्या है? 3,000 plus pages, 2,000 plus characters are there. 3,000 plus pages, 2,000 plus characters in search of lost time. सीखता इसके स्पेशल प्राइवेट क्लासेस हैं. जो टफ टॉपिक्स होते हैं उनके ऑडियोज नहीं दिए जाते हैं क्योंकि वो लीक हो जाते हैं, इधर उधर हो जाते हैं. उनकी लाइव क्लासेस होती हैं एंड देन वी मेक द लाइव क्लासेस प्राइवेट. जो आपकी लाइव क्लासेस है वो भी प्राइवेट हो जाती है. ओके, थैंक यू कुमार सचिंद्र, थैंक यू सो मच. Okay, now the second thing that you have to remember from the French writer is Albert Camus. If you have not read Albert Camus, you have not read Outsider, which also called El Stranger. El Stranger, Outsider, same story. The famous work, The Plague, that you are not prepared at all. So make sure you read Albert Camus, Myth of Sisyphus, 1942, then Outsider and The Plague, 3 classics, very important, must read. स्पार्क नोट से पढ़ो तो भी काम चल जाएगा. डॉक्टर रीक्स एंड कैरेक्टर्स है. नाउ द नेक्स्ट थिंग, अब नेक्स्ट थिंग इसके बाद देखो क्या चीज़ है. सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट है फ्रेंच राइटर्स में सैमुअल बेकेट. सैमुअल बेकेट, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट राइटर. व्हाट यू हैव टू डू इज एवरीबॉडी विल रीड वेटिंग फॉर गोडो, व्लादिमीर, एस्ट्रागॉन, लकी, पोजो, देयर रेफरेंसेस. Who is referred as James Joyce, who is referred as Beckett. What does this mean by the word Godot? Everything will prepare. Everybody will prepare it. How many of you know about Endgame? How many of you know about Krapp's Last Tape? How many of you know about the famous work Breath of 36 Seconds? So yes, Sara पढ़ लो. That's what you have to cover up. Along with these things, in all these French writers, Alexander Dumas' famous work, Three Musketeers, very important. Then Gustave Flaubert's famous work Madame Bovary, क्लासिक है, बहुत अच्छा इंपॉर्टेंट वर्क है, क्लासिक है, यू हैव टू रीड दैट. Gustave Flaubert wrote a female study, a character, Madame Emma Bovary. Just make sure you read it, revise it. So today I think I was just getting one important call also. So what you have to do is German literature, French literature. Today I have given you the homework, most important ones, okay? And the online students, you have more details than these, so you prepare those things. The new students will prepare this thing, and we continue to the live classes. I'll make sure that you get important things. But if you want something in organized, professional and disciplined way, call the office number 85870-35827 for the crash course. This is very much helping. सुबह 3 बजे क्लास करेंगे, 3 AM. So I suggest you go for the crash course. See you soon. Stay connected. And yes, watch my video of Maldives. Maldives की एक पूरी series आने वाली है. There are 10 plus videos I have recorded in Maldives in reference with ocean. Either it's a Dover Beach thing, Gulliver's Travel, Rime of Ancient Mariner. And when you watch that lecture from Maldives, just remember this thing, that Vineet sir was an average student who struggled like us, has fulfilled his dream by hard work. So work hard, party harder. That's my message to all of you. Take care.